What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Boy, thick whips. Today we are heading over to CES Motorsport with Mr. John. You guys have seen him before on the channel. We've dynoed all the cars over at CES and we are going to get base numbers for this Supra. Now, if I had to guess, I have watched a few videos on base numbers for this car. 333 horsepower and 386. Those are my guesstimates. You guys guess right now. Comment down below and guess what it's going to be. This is something that I've never done with any of the builds. I've never gotten like real baseline numbers before putting performance parts on. And I've wanted to do this for a while just because most of the times we just dyno the car after we put parts on, but we don't really know the exact numbers of where we came from. Sure, you can look them up online and get like a general idea, but it's always good to know your exact numbers because every dyno is different, every situation is different, every car is different, and I really want to know precisely how much power I'm putting on this car when we do start doing modifications. And those modifications are going to happen quick here, like next week. So I figured I would get in as soon as possible with John over at CES. So this should be an interesting one. Obviously there's a lot of people who have done stock dyno pulls and stock dyno results already on this car, but I think it's going to be good for us to have our own for this channel. And yeah, we'll see what we make. 333, 386. Those are the numbers that I'm guessing. All right, guys, so we are pulling up to CES Motorsport now. I will see you inside. All right, you guys, just pulled up to CES Motorsports. We got the Supra on the dyno, getting ready to put down some stock numbers here, and I'm guessing 333 at 386. Those are my numbers, and we've got a couple of other Supras in the shop. So we're gonna run over to John over here and kind of talk about what these cars have done to them and his experience building Supras, because this shop was actually one of the first shops to have a Supra and actually be building parts for it. Got Mr. M2 Ghost up on the lift over there. He's doing something special as well. Car's bone stock. Gonna get some starting numbers here. Like I said, I think I'm somewhere in the, you know, the 330 area. That seems to be the case of what people are putting down online. Then we got this guy here. This is from out of state. This is actually a wrap. It's also a launch edition Supra. It's got some 20-inch BBSs on it. Pretty wild looking wrap, dude. Looks pretty cool. We got another one here. This is a thick boy. I mean, my God, dude, what a sick setup. So this is like a full-on race build, and John's gonna join us in a minute here and kind of talk about what the power that these cars are putting down and kind of what they, you know, what he's experienced so far, because he has a lot of knowledge when it comes to building these cars, being that his shop was one of the first shops to actually build them. This is like such a JDM setup. It's sick though, man. These cars are just wicked. So this guy went with the BC forged wheels. It's really dirty right now, but crazy acid green calipers. It's very sick. And then this is their shop Supra. So these all pretty much look alike, but he's got the Volks, the TEs, fresh kicks, would be proud. And this car did have a lot done to it, but it is relatively stock now. John actually just got back from the mountains in Asheville and took this up there. All right, Johnny. So you guys, this is John here over at CES Motorsports. You guys have seen him on the channel before. and he has rather extensive knowledge when it comes to building Supras. But We're going to talk a little bit about these cars that he has in the shop here. This one right here, this is from out of state, correct, John?
Yeah, this one came all the way from Virginia.
Okay.
Customer wanted us to do some upgrades to it, custom tuning. So he shipped the car down to us to take care of it for him.
Okay, cool. And so what do you guys have planned to do to this car?
So he actually wants pump gas tune on it, but he did want to turn it up to make a little bit more power. So we're going to do a Pure 800 turbo upgrade. He wanted to also do meth injection, so we're going to do a custom snow performance meth kit on it that actually is through Titan Motorsport with dual jet stainless braided lines of works. He just wants to do the charge pipe meth injection setup on it. PWR radiator upgrade. This one car came to us with a Boost Logic full exhaust system and downpipe upgrade already.
Super popular exhaust, by the way.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see a lot of guys running the Boost Logic.
Sounds really nice too. He wants to do the MST intake upgrade also. Then we're going to tune it with custom tuning here in-house with the MHD and Pure Boost guys that we work with to do a lot of the custom tuning in-house.
Cool.
For our customers.
This is actually from a dealership. Used to be a customer?
Yes, so this was actually one of the original ones that we worked on when these first came out last year. And this customer had immediately wanted to actually be the first guy to make 1,000 horsepower out of the car, but it ended up not going that route, but we still made a decent amount of power out of it. But this is the Borg Warner 92 80 EFR turbo.
What do you think it's making right now?
Right now it just has a pump gas tune on it because basically the car was stripped back down when it got sent to the dealership.
Yeah.
But it's right around 430-ish wheel and about 490 torque or so. Very low boost, like 14, 15 pounds of boost.
Yeah.
So nothing fancy. It can go up to 20 pounds. Car actually has a Ecutech tuning on it now instead of MHD that we originally had tuned it with. This car, when it gets sold, will have a tuning package that goes with it. The turbo is capable of well over 1,000 horsepower.
Some monster.
It originally was designed as a bottom mount kit and it had some oil scavenge issues. So the customer actually drove this car to Full Race in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And had them rebuild the kit to do a custom top mount, is what you see now. And that's when it got retuned. But while it was here, we were one of the first ones to actually turn up one of the Supras, and this one made 640 wheel horsepower and 680 wheel torque back before anything was out. With custom MHD flash tuning and the Pure Boost guys that we were working with right here in house on the dyno.
So cool. And then you've obviously got your shop Supra here.
We do. And this one's been thoroughly tested to. A lot of the off-the-shelf tuning maps that probably you see on the MHD software when people want to do the MHD flash on these cars was done right here in-house on our dyno with this car. This one has seen the full gamut of tunes from pump gas all the way to E30, E50 blends that we've been working on, plus some new prototype tunes that we haven't released quite yet. For somebody who really loves the way the stock car feels, I mean, these cars by 2,000 RPM, bam, you're full boost, full torque, everything. These can make a lot of power and keep the same drivability. If you do the E30 blend with this one with the downpipe, our downpipe, and E50 blend custom tune, was making 530 wheel horsepower, and that is basically a 200 wheel horsepower gain.
I know, that's
over
crazy.
stock, right? These
I mean, that gets me so excited. You don't even know.
Oh yeah, literally with a downpipe and a tune, you can pick up close to 200 wheel horsepower. And what the beauty of that is, with minimal mods, you transform a car instantly. We've taken this car full weight with those mods to the drag strip, and run a 1090 at 124 miles an hour. Obviously with different tires, we have 17-inch tires that we do instead. But that's how easy it is to make power out of these.
So John, what are you guessing? I mean, you already know. You've already dynoed these cars stock a few times. My numbers that I'm throwing out that I'm guesstimating are 333 wheel horsepower and 386 torque.
Okay. I'm gonna go a little higher, maybe say.
Really? Am I being modest?
I'm gonna say 337.
Okay.
And maybe 395 torque. Let's see if we can get those on the stock numbers. Obviously it depends on the weather and the day, but it's some pretty good.
I mean, compared to every other day that I've been here, it's been in the hundreds. I think every single time it's been over. The IATs have been over 100.
It's been up.
So if you guys are interested in dynoing or performance parts or tuning cars, especially Supras or BMWs in general, check out CES Motorsports. We're here in Monroe, North Carolina. They do amazing work. You guys have seen all my cars have been dynoed here. And the great part about what John does in this shop is that they can do all of the custom fabrication, all of the install work, all of the tuning, and then you can just hop over to the dyno. So like it's a one-stop shop. Like you can really dial in the car all in one place. And I can't stress enough how important that is to have all of that right here.
One-stop shop allows you to do a turnkey build for a customer and instantly show them the results without having to guess what the car's making or if it's even making what's been advertised. So it's there's crucial, a lot of benefit to having the total package.
Huge benefit. So you guys will see us in this shop, obviously a lot more. Now we're going to get onto the dyno with the stock Supra, and we'll see what happens.
Numbers are in the books.
Dude, the turbo is so loud. I've never heard the turbo outside of the car on this car, and it is so loud.
Yeah, I unfortunately never get to hear it either.
It sounds amazing.
So we both were wrong.
All right, 339 in a good way. 339 and 399. So this is 339 to the wheels.
Correct.
So I've had a couple of people in the past videos say, well, it says horsepower, it doesn't say wheel horsepower. Would you like to kindly explain to them that this is in fact to the wheels?
All right, so there is a common misconception about horsepower, and basically what it boils down to is this: when you buy a car at a dealership, the advertised horsepower is actually crank or motor horsepower, the actual horsepower the motor makes. Now, with drivetrain losses, as that power is transferred to the wheels, that is a calculation-based number that you get at the motor. The true horsepower that a car makes is what it puts down at the tires, on the pavement when you're driving. And a dyno, like the Dyno Jet, will simulate the actual power that it sees to the ground, which is what we translate as wheel horsepower. So wheel horsepower numbers are the actual numbers that the car makes. And then we do a simple calculation with a percentage drivetrain loss. So for example, a Dyno Jet, which is not a load-bearing dyno, which does not add load, in other words, it's an inertia dyno. So you're basically free spinning a drum without adding any other type of load to the car to change the power output. 15 to 17% drivetrain loss is what we typically do. So we take the number that you put down to the wheels, which is 339, and you multiply that by the 15 to 17% drivetrain loss to get the actual horsepower numbers at the motor.
So there you go. This is in fact wheel horsepower. First run 339.47, torque at 399.30. So.
And I would like to also note that these cars were actually advertised as 335 motor horsepower. That's where people are getting very confused too, because BMW does this also. They will
they underrate it, right?
So when you're getting these numbers, you're like, wait a minute, they're saying that this car makes 335 horsepower. Well, it actually does to an effect, but it's making it at the tires. So the motor horsepower is more like 390-ish to 400. We're very close
in that
with the percentage drivetrain loss calculation. Very consistent. And with a little bit of heat soak.
Wow. This is so refreshing to see these numbers stock. Like, you don't even know.
Oh yeah.
This feels so good because I know where it can go. We did a lot of work to the M2. We did a lot of work to the F30 and the M2. And just seeing these numbers now and knowing how far we went with those cars and how far I'm about to go with this car, yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited to see what we do.
It's a really wonderful motor. The B58 has really proven itself in a lot of different ways. And BMW took a lot of what they learned from the N54, the N55, the S55 motors, and the B58 is really has the best of everything.
The B58's the predecessor to the N55, right?
Correct, yeah. And
so what were you saying about, and the S58. Well, so what were you saying about the 1x1 for the drivetrain?
Oh yeah, so we're dynoing the car in 6th gear, so these cars have the 8 HP transmission in them, which is the 8-speed automatic. 6th gear is the 1-to-1, so that's why we have it in 6th gear. So we're doing the pull in 1-to-1 for those of you that are curious. If this is indeed the 1-to-1 ratio, which gives that most accurate power transfer to the wheels.
So this is pretty consistent. 339 first time, 338 second time. All right, man. Again, thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it. You're just like a book of knowledge when it comes to these cars and dynoing. Well, I've learned so much just in the few times that I've been here, and I love learning about these cars, and every time I come here I learn something. So it's kind of like I'm going to the library.
Well, you know, I have a passion for it. This is what I love doing.
It's clear that you have a passion for it. So
I love making cars go faster for everybody. So
for sure. So if you guys need dynoing, tuning, building, performance parts, any of that, fabrication, come to CES here in Monroe. John is the owner. He's happy to help you out. Extensive knowledge, dude. I mean, the amount of cars that are in here and what he does, and the power that he's been able to put out in these cars and the times on the tracks that he's done. He's really proven his mark in the BMW community and with building and tuning these cars. So make sure you check them out. I'm gonna have all of their information linked down below. Go ahead and hit them up if you're interested in checking them out. CES Motorsport. Dude, hype level 1,000 right now. This car, I'm so excited, dude. I'm so excited. These numbers for stock form are so good. They're so impressive, and I'm so hyped about that. I can't wait to build on top of this platform, man. This is gonna be such an exciting build, and I think that we're gonna be able to put down some really good power. Really good power. Anyways, you guys, that's gonna wrap this video up. I don't think this car is gonna be stock much longer. I tried to milk it as much as I could. I'm in like a week of ownership, but we have parts that are already at the house. They showed up this week. So I think since we already have modifications at the house, the way to go about this is to just start throwing the modifications on, making the content, and get back on the dyno. It's gonna be a fun one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please do subscribe, comment down below, like this video, hit that bell notification, and just like that, this video's over, and I'm out. Peace.
Thank you.